Alright julle, meeste van ons is klaar gewees met die merkery tot by bedryf 2 of toneel 2 ekskuus. So dit is dan van bladsy 46 tot 48. In julle studiegids is dit dan van bladsy 17 af, page 17. Eerste vraag, watter karaktereienskap van Benjamin Price Selling? Remember, I'm not going to explain the questions in English because your study guide has it in English as well, né? So watter karaktereienskap prys hy? Hy is nie een vir agterdraf nie. He's not one for running behind. Dan sê Selling, hy is nie een vir agterdraf nie. Verduidelik wat hy hiermee bedoel. Hy is 'n leier, hy volg nie ander nie. So he's a leader, he doesn't follow others. Watter onheilspellende nuus het Selling? The word onheilspellend means ominous, bad news in other words. So wat is die nuus wat hy het? Hy noem dit daar al die afgelope week 'n vreemde kar in die Lange Kloof is. He mentions that the past week there's been this strange car in the Lange Kloof area. Wie dink Fiela ry in die vreemde kar? Who does Fiela think is in the car? Sy dink dit is smose, she thinks it's vendors or merchants. Waarheen is die perdekar op pad? Die kar is op pad Wolwekraal toe, of na die Komotie se plaas toe, of na Fiela se huis toe. Anything that tells us it's on its way to Fiela, that's fine. As die smose karwatse en swepe wil koop, moet Selling dit aan hulle verkoop. Verduidelik waarom die stelling onwaar is. You have to read this statement very carefully. It says, if the merchants want to buy karwatse and whips, Selling has to sell it to them. This is false. This is onwaar. Why? Because Selling should say they're only selling to Rosinski. Hulle verkoop net aan Rosinski. Then there's another one after Selling, or Fiela and Selling spoke about this. She then said there is something that they can sell. So wat kan Selling aan die smose verkoop? Hy kan aan hulle net dassievelle of dasvelle verkoop. So dassievelle or dasvelle, either one of them are correct. If you just said velle, that is wrong. Then the next question, wat moet die smose per item betaal? What must they pay per item? Hulle moet niks minder as 2 oula per vel betaal nie, nothing less than 2 oula per skin. Dan as ons kyk na Fiela se monoloog, she describes the two different parts of the area where they live. Kloofkant en seekant. Seekant obviously referring to where the Van Rooyens live in the forest, and Kloofkant where they live in die Lange Kloof. So if we're looking at plantegroei, what is it like on the ocean side according to Fiela? Milddadige plantegroei, meaning luscious green forest as far as the eye can see. Aan die kloofkant, net klippe en stof, only dust and rocks. If you mentioned other things like waarboom, taaitrek, renosterbos, all those things, that's also fine. Then we're looking at rainfall. Aan die seekant, goeie reënval. Aan die kloofkant is dit 'n droë gebied met min reën. Die tipe wêreld is 'n boswêreld aan die seekant en 'n volstruiswêreld aan die kloofkant. If you said something woestynagtig of Karoo, I would also still accept that because that is technically what it is. Then you need to get an example of contrast from the monologue. Fiela sê, en kom die reën die jaar op sy tyd, blom die Lange Kloof en staan die kos vir mens en dier in oorvloed en vergeet jy die droogte. So Fiela says, and if the rain does arrive at the right time, the Lange Kloof is in full bloom and food is enough for people and animals and you forget about the drought. Verduidelik die kontras in jou eie woorde. Explain this contrast. Hoewel die Lange Kloof 'n dorre droë plek is dit 'n plek van oordadigheid en vrugbaarheid wanneer dit wel reën. So even though the cliff or the Lange Kloof area is a very dry, arid place, it is also a place of abundance and fruitfulness when the rains do arrive. Then we move on to question number 4, 10.4. Wat suggereer Fiela se monoloog oor haar verhouding met haar skepper? The word suggereer means suggest. So Fiela is 'n gelowige mens en stel haar God voor alles en almal. Fiela is a very religious person and she puts her God before everything and everyone. Obviously, we will look again at this later on, and in the text that we've read so far, you've seen what Fiela and God have with each other. Goed. Fiela is 'n mens wat haar seëninge tel, verduidelik waarom jy met hierdie stelling kan saamstem. You have to explain why you agree with the statement. So it's not a yes or no. You have to explain to us why you agree. So jy stem saam of ek stem saam want sy moet of sy noem dat daar nog mooi dinge in die lange kloof gebeur ten spyte van die harde en wreedaardige milieu. So we agree with the statement because even though the Lange Kloof is a very difficult place to live in, a place where people suffer quite a lot because of the drought and the everything, she still sees the beautiful things in the cliff. No? She still is happy about the river that provides water for them. She's still happy about the ostriches and the sheep that they have and the goat and all those kinds of things. Vergelyk Fiela se karakter met Celine se karakter soos dit duidelik word uit die monoloog. Compare Fiela and Celine's character based on the monologue. So Fiela is 'n hardwerkende vrou en regeer in die huis en op die plaas. As sterk vrou neem sy die leiding. Celine is wel altyd beskikbaar vir emosionele hulp en bystand. Hy moet tog gedryf word om take op die plaas te verrig. So Fiela is a hard-working woman. She rules the farm and she is a very strong woman who takes lead, whereas Celine is always available for emotional support and assistance, but sometimes he needs to be forced to work. 10.7 Met watter van die karakters kan jy die meeste identifiseer? Motiveer jou antwoord. This question will not be asked in any form of an exam anywhere because we have the situation of how wide is this question? How are we going to really assess this fairly? In this case, if we were to ask a question like this, then we would link it back, let's say, for example, to the monologue. Based on the monologue, why can Fiela be a character to admire, for example, or why could Celine be a character to be admired? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this question. Number 11. Hoeveel het Fiela vir die volstruise betaal? Or you can say, wat het sy daarvoor betaal? So what did she pay for the volstruise? 6 karwatse en 2 swepe wat sy vir die volstruise betaal het. 6 karwatse or riding crops and 2 whips. By wie het Fiela die volstruiswyfie gekoop? Who did she buy the ostrich female from? By Koos Weimer. Is die inligting oor Benjamin se liefde vir skepe 'n voorbeeld van 'n dramatiese doelstelling? Ja of nee, verduidelik jou standpunt. Dramatiese doelstelling, for those of you that don't know that, is kind of, I want to say, almost like a prediction. Does this predict something that's going to happen in the future? Explain your answer. So in this case, we can say, ja, dit is, want wanneer Benjamin later die see sien en op die bote wil gaan werk, is dit nie 'n verrassing vir die gehoor nie. So later on, when Benjamin goes to the ocean and he sees the boats and wants to work on the ocean or on the boats, it is not a surprise for the reader. Die perdekar het opgedaag, the horse and carriage arrived. Wie dink Celine daag met die perdekar op? Who does Celine think they are? Hy dink hulle is predikers. Verduidelik waarom Celine se denke oor die persone ironies gesien kan word. Explain the irony. Celine sien hulle as predikers wat goeie nuus bring, maar hulle bring hartseer en pyn vir die gesin, want as gevolg van hulle besoek word Benjamin weggeneem. So Celine sees them as preachers, and preachers are supposed to bring good news, but these two people only bring sadness and pain to the family. Because of them, Benjamin later then gets taken away. Goed, ons gaan nou aan met deel 2.